Hey, welcome. Today we are going to talk about where the buyers are who have the most money and how they're hiding basically in your funnel, in your system, and how doing this strategy gets them to buy. In fact, if you follow what I'm saying here, you're going to find the people who have the most money, who buy the fastest, who are the best clients, and quite frankly, if you do this right, you can probably get 2, 3, 4 times as many people buying from you than probably you currently are in terms of your coaching business, which makes your coaching business way more profitable, which means you have to get less traffic, spend less money on ads. It sounds like almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, let me explain, okay? So here's the biggest problem that I see coaches making across the board, all right? And the biggest problem is what they're doing is they have this single pass funnel and they don't realize that only about a quarter of their clients are going to come within about 24 hours, okay? So what I want to do is explain to you what I call the buyer pyramid, okay? I've been using this for almost 20 years now, and it's really one of the secrets to my success. I've spent millions on ads, and I've evolved from every strategy online, and a lot of it has to do with what I'm sharing you here and why it's working. And I'm here to tell you right now, as of this recording, September 4th, 2025, if you don't implement this, there's very likelihood most coaches will not be in existence next year if they don't do this, because you will not be able to run your business without doing what I'm about to say, okay? So here's how the coaching buyer pyramid works, all right? You got to stick with me for a minute. There's 4 parts to it. Now, let's hypothetically say in a 30-day period, let's say in August, last month, as of this recording, you got 200 leads from your coaching business, all right? 200 people give you an email address, signed up for a webinar, signed up for something, all from cold traffic or your social media following, your LinkedIn connections, whatever. You got 200 people give you an email address. Now, out of those 200 people, maximum at scale on cold traffic, 5% are going to buy within about 24 hours, okay? So that gives you 10, or are going to book a call, okay? So that gives you about 10 leads, all right? So you got 10 people booked calls off of 200, that's 5%, maximum at scale, okay? Now, there are outliers that go higher, but here's the problem. Are you starting to see? What coaches are doing is they're getting these 200 leads and they got 5 book calls, hypothetically. What they're saying is, how do I increase that 5% to 10%? Here's the problem. You're basically trying to swim upstream on a really fast moving downstream river that's like coming out of the mountains type thing with a huge undercurrent. You can't go against what's happening online with trust and all that kind of stuff. All right. Now, then what you're going to find is this. So if we've got 200 leads came in, 10 booked a call, 5% booked a call right away. The next 5% you're going to get, the next 10 leads are going to book a call within a month, okay? If you do this right. Now, but here's the thing. If you do it right, you're going to get another 10 calls booked within 6 months and another 10 calls booked from 6 months to a year. So altogether, you want to get about 40 calls booked out of 200 leads. That's about 20%, okay? 20% of people should book a call. Now, do you see the problem? Only a quarter of those leads are going to come right away within 24 hours. The rest of them are going to come downstream in this buyer pyramid that I'm talking about. The problem is 99% of coaches' systems are optimized and set up to just get people right away. Just like, book a call, buy my stuff, show up, you got this, I got that. You know what I mean? And then they have follow-ups that are terrible. And they're like, yeah, nobody books calls off my email. Nobody books calls off this. Nobody books calls off that. And they're missing 75% of their sales because they don't know how to do this. Here's the other problem, okay? Coaches who focus all their efforts on getting that 5%, right? That 10 book calls out of those 200 leads. Here's what you need to realize. You're going to have the worst show up rates off those people. You're going to have the most combative calls out of all those people. Why? Because they just clicked an ad, seen your stuff. They're like, well, this looks interesting. I should talk to Coach so-and-so. And then you're like, yeah, it's $10,000, $12,000 to work with me. They're like, what? I just I just met you. I just saw your ad yesterday. I don't even know how did I see your ad? Where did I see? I can't even remember I found you now, right? Well, I don't know anything about you. Do you have any case studies? Do you have this? What's your guarantees? What's this? What's that? I don't have any money. And then the coach is like, nobody has any money. Ads don't work. Nothing's working. This isn't working. So they're the most combative calls. They're the worst show-up rates because they don't know you. Ultimately, they're the worst buyers because they're in a lot of, and I'm not saying everybody, we book lots of calls with people right away, but I'm saying overall, they're the hardest because there's no trust, right? And also, that's where you're going to get a lot of desperate people. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Coach so-and-so is going to help me with my weight loss stuff. And this is so great. Free call. Love it. Awesome. You see what I'm doing there? And so this is where the hardest part of your coaching business is. And so what coaches do is they focus everything on fixing that. And they're like, I just got to eke more out of these initial of this initial group, right? This 5%, make them better, do better on my calls, objection whack-a-mole stuff. And in the end, it's just falling apart because here's the thing. I can tell you this. Here's the problem. The way funnels are run is causing coaches to miss out on literally 75% of their sales, okay? Not only that, funnels are inefficient right now in 2025, and it's getting worse. Let me tell you, back in 2018, 2019, 20, 21, 22, I used to be able to get 20% right away. And a lot of our clients did too. Easy 20%. We could get 40% of people booking calls within a month or two using this system. Why? Guess why? Because funnels work. The big go-go days, the best days of the funnel boom was really about 2015 to 2022. And then it started to die off. This send people straight to a video, send them to ebooks, send them all this stuff, get them to book a call. It worked really great until what? Until everybody started doing this, okay? And what happened was funnels used to create trust. Now they create distrust, okay? Because people are coming into your funnel. I'm going to explain to you how to fix this and get the rest of these people. But the problem is they're confused and they just don't understand. They don't trust anybody. You can give them all the case studies you want. Prove that you have medical degrees from every major medical school on the planet. They're going to be like, yeah, that's fake. Yeah, ChatGPT did that, right? All this kind of stuff, right? And so what's happening is that this percentage of buyers who's coming right away is going to continue to shrink. And I'm willing to bet you within 2 years, it's going to be probably down to 1 or 2%. Now, but that's not bad. That's really good if you know how to deal with this. I will tell you now, when we see somebody come into our world, register for a webinar, get into our Skool community, and they book a call right away, we're, I'm not saying skeptical, but we're kind of like, they don't really know me. They don't really know me. And so we try and get them out stuff to build the relationship, to build the trust so that when, we do talk to them, that's built up. But you don't want to rely on that. So that's what's going on. Okay. So the problems are with the funnel. So just recap is people are confused. Number two, you have to install buyer belief systems. See, in the old days, you didn't have to install buyer belief systems. You could just give good information, give some good testimonials, show them how awesome you were. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've been looking for this everywhere. You can help me lose weight without going to the gym and all this. Now everybody's saying the same thing. So nobody sees that you're different. And so we have to install new buyer belief systems. But here's the problem. And then we're going to get into how to fix this. Okay? The problem is coaches have what I would call a scarcity mindset around getting people to buy. Their mindset is, oh my gosh, I just got 100 people to register for my thing. I just got 100 people to sign up and I only got 2 book calls. This is horrible. My funnel's not working. This is a disaster. I'm going to run out of money, right? Or whatever. And so they start pounding their email list with really crazy offers. They start doing stupid things and they start basically making it easier to book a call. And then what happens is the quality drops. They get worse quality people and they actually don't get to where they want to go. So if you follow my advice on what I'm saying here, I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I will tell you that 75% of the people are stuck in the buyer pyramid. And I want to explain to you how to get them so you can grow this. Because like I said, the strategy that's being what's been popularized, worked really well. 2015 to 2022, started to die off 2023, 24. It was a disaster. Now it's just a mess. So here's what we need to do. You need to do 6 things. Before I get to those 6 things, I want you to do 2 real quick things here, okay? First of all, hit the subscribe button on here. I said I give all kinds of free trainings. I've spent millions on ads in the last few years figuring this stuff out, mastering this stuff. Work with a lot of coaches all over the world and I help them implement these things. And so we have a ton of data and I love sharing it for free over here. So hit the subscribe button somewhere around this video so you can get the updates, the new stuff that comes out. Second thing is, underneath this video, you can book a free call, 15-minute call, and we're going to help you fix this, okay? There's nothing to buy. There's nothing for sale. That's why it's only 15 minutes. And we're going to help you figure this out. We're going to look at all your stuff and give you a free funnel, mini celebrity status ecosystem call that's going to show you what's changed on Facebook, what's changed with buyers, how to fix this, how to fix the changes that are happening on the ads right now, the latest algorithm updates, and what to do with your coaching business so you can start scaling it. Okay, so here's what you need to do. There's 6 things you need to do. The first thing that we want to do, and I'm going to go quick, is we take people from Facebook. We recommend taking people from Facebook, getting them into what we call an automated webinar that starts about every 5 to 15 minutes and gets a 70% show up rate. And the reason we do this is 2 things. Number 1, it gets Facebook to send us quality people, because if you're just getting people giving you an email address, signing up for a video or watching or get ebook or something like that, that feedback loop's going to go back to Facebook, and Facebook's going to go find people in your audience who look like those people. They're not qualified. So we want to create a higher barrier to entry and get them to send us quality people who want to show up for a webinar. The job of this webinar is not to get them to sell them. It's to shift their belief system, uninstall the non-buyer beliefs, install the new buyer beliefs so that they want to buy. And you're going to get about 5% book calls. Great. But you got to remember, the purpose is shifting the belief systems and get some sales and clients out of it. But the second thing we do is we hook in what we call a symptomatic-based email system. And what that does is it shifts the buyer beliefs. Now you can hear the key word, right? Shifting buyer beliefs. Because here's the problem. Single pass funnels like book a call, watch my 5-minute video, just look at my sales page, book a call. There's not enough power anymore because, again, remember 5-10 years ago when all this stuff was new and easy, people were just looking for what you sell. Now their brain is plugged full of every other option. They've worked with 5 other coaches who screwed them over. They don't trust anybody. I don't know what's going on. ChatGPT's telling me one thing. Coaches are telling me another. YouTube's saying something else. And so they're so confused that just taking them to book a call, you're going to get all these people telling you they're broke. They don't know. They're confused. They got to think about it. And so it's creating all this chaos on your calls. And a lot of coaches are blaming it on the ads. Well, it's not the ads at all. It's the whole system. Okay. So we use these strategic emails. We call them symptomatic based emails to shift their belief systems and then get them to buy. So we do those 2 things. Then the third thing is we use what we call mini celebrity status ads to run up the frequency and get them to see you as the only option. Okay, because here's the thing. They need to have exposure to you, and so they need to see you multiple times. And so we hook these ads in, and these ads only go to the people in your system, in your ecosystem. Only people who've clicked your ad. Only people who have hit your registration page. Only people who have watched the webinar. Only people who've gone to call booking pages. Only people on your email and stuff. And they're super small ads, and we're hitting them from all different angles. They're automated. They can run for months, and they're super cheap because, again, the audience is super small. And then what we want to do is we're hitting them with different types of messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and so on and so forth. So every time they come on, we're building trust. We're building trust. They see us the only option. We're shifting their belief system, and we're getting more of them to book calls, more of them to book calls, more of them to book calls, more of them to book calls. And guess what? All these people who are booking calls further down the buyer pyramid, they trust you more. They're more convinced you're the best option. They know they want to work with you. They show up at a higher rate, and they're just a better situation because they've had time with you, okay? And now they know this is the right thing to do. So when you do those enrollment calls, those are enrollment calls. They're like, oh, how do we do this? I've seen all your stuff. How much is it? How does it work, right? And that's what the kind of calls you want. They're not like, okay, can you give me 6 testimonials? I just met you. I don't understand everything you're doing. Or they don't even show up. That's what's happening. And again, here, this is what I want you to take away. Most coaches are fixing that first part when it's just getting worse, okay? The secret is to fix the rest of this, which is going to carry your business and increase your profits massively. Now, the fourth thing we do, so number 1 is we use a 70% show up webinar that shifts our beliefs. Number 2, the symptomatic-based email system. Number 3, the mini celebrity status ads. And number 4, this is optional, but we automate a community or free social media plus setters, which are commission-based. So we hook in a way that we can distribute free content to them in an automated way, build a relationship with them. Sometimes it can be a community. I got a couple thousand people in my Skool community. Various ways to do this. I got clients doing all kinds of things on Instagram, on Facebook, communities. And then what we can do is we can hook in a commission-based setter, and their job is to build a relationship and get more calls booked. Okay? So you're starting to see how this compounds. And then number 5 is we shift our mindset from stop trying to squeeze everything out of a single pass funnel and realize you do not want to win a loser's game. Okay? And that's what's happening with coaches. They're spending all their time getting better at something that's getting worse. All right? And so you need to, number 6, prepare for the future. The future is going to be this. Ads are going to get harder. Trust is going down. There's more coaches, and people are not buying right away. And the people who are probably not your ideal clients. So you need to focus on what I've just explained to you, which is called the coaching buyer pyramid. And realize that once you get this nailed down, stop focusing on that top piece of the pyramid, build your ecosystem to get the rest of the people. You'll make more money now, and it will compound so that these people in 6 months and 3 months and 12 months are starting to now book calls. And what this does is it compounds your success. And you're like, I'm still just spending the same amount of money, and my success is going like this. And guess what? Nobody will be able to compete with you. Your calls will be better. The quality will be better. The people working with you will be better. It's more profitable, and everything is better. And you're building a business for where the future is going. All right. So if any of this resonates with you, click the link in the description or the pin post, book that 15-minute call so we can explain to you how this mini celebrity status ads ecosystem works and how it connects with the ads, what changes you need to be making on the ads, because Facebook just made a massive upgrade or an update in their algorithms. And if you're getting garbage leads coming into your system, none of this works. Okay. So we need to get qualified people already and from the ads, and we want to show you the strategies and explain how to do that. And then the second thing is we want to explain to you how to make this buyer pyramid work for you, what that looks like, what you need to put where, how it looks, so to set you up so that you can get these people. You can get the best people who want to work with you with the most trust without all this other chaos and stuff like that, and stop having to focus on that little top part of that pyramid that's going away further and further away when the rest are there. We just got to unlock that, because guess what? They're buying from other people who are probably not as good as a coach as you. So we need them to buy from you. So book that call. It's completely free. There's nothing to buy on that call. It's 15 minutes, and we're going to map this out, share with you how to do it, give you some ideas. Plus, we're going to unlock some free bonus training we have in our Skool community that's normally reserved for our paying clients. All right. The biggest takeaway you need to realize is everything is changing. The old way of doing it is not working. Buyer psychology is changing, and this changes how we do the ads. But here's the cool thing. The coaches who get this are the ones that are going to be incredibly successful. And the rest of the coaches are going to be sitting there, spending their days focusing on that top part of the pyramid, creating chat GPT scripts and better this, better that. It's not about being the best marketer. It's about having the best system that gets you the best clients, okay? Automating this whole process so that you can spend time doing what you want to do, scaling your business, traveling, living your life, because your coaching business is supposed to serve you and not the other way around where you're just stuck in toil and chaos and talking to broke people all day. Ads aren't working. Doesn't need to be that way. All right, click that link, book this call, and make sure you start thinking, how can I implement this coaching buyer pyramid? Because this is the future. I've been doing this since 2005, and I will tell you right now, it's becoming more and more reality that it's happening with this buyer pyramid. So stop focusing on that top 5% as much, and remember the rest of the money is 75% to 80% of the money is in the rest of that, and we just got to unlock it so you can have some more success. All right, hope this was helpful. Book your call.